Okay, so I'm starting off with smoothing primer from Sephora, which is a tiny bit of a silicone. So what you do, you just want to put it on your T-zone. Well, that's where my pores are the biggest. And now when I'm primed, I'm going to use Sephora 10 Hour Wear Perfection Foundation, and my color is number 20, but obviously you use your favorite color. I really like that one. It really stays on long. And I'm just going to use a buffing brush to put it on. Blend it, blend it, blend it. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to apply a little bit of eyebrows. So for that, I'm going to use the eyebrow editor from Sephora, which is basically those three little, two powders and one gel. I'm just going to skip the gel, and I'm using this Sephora smudge and eyeliner brush. So I'm just using the eyeliner one because it's the thickness of my eyebrow. It's easy for me to use. So the next thing I'm using is one of my favorite. It's the new Gel Intense pencil in color 01 Black, Ultra Black, and it's the twistable one. It's nearly finished, so I'm not going to twist it all up, but it's really pigmented, and I just absolutely love it. And I love the fact that I don't have to sharp it, because then if I sharp it and I don't clear the sharpeners, I get this black all over my carpet, and there's always a big row about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my waterline. I know it looks a little bit painful if you haven't tried it yet, but please believe me, it doesn't hurt at all, and just try. So what you do is you just put the eyeliner on your water. It looks like you're sticking it into your eyes. There you go. Normally it's a lot easier for me, but my mirror is closer. Right now I'm kind of guessing where I stick the pencil in. If you want to pretend you have no makeup, you can just leave it like this and just do mascara. No makeup. But we want makeup. So I'm just going to do a line on my brow line, lash line. So I'm just going to do a line. It doesn't have to be straight because we're going to smudge it with an eyeshadow. And you probably notice I'm not wearing any primer on my eyes, but I'll tell you in a minute why. So for this, I'm going to use the little Sephora case, which is basically the case in beige and browns and grays. Not the one with darker colors, because obviously it's supposed to be natural makeup for an everyday use. I'm using sponge to put on the eyeshadow, and to smudge the line I'm going to use the darkest brown color, which is this one. It looks like black, but it's actually dark brown. I love Sephora eyeshadows. Like, they are a little bit dry, and they sometimes they end up on my cheeks, but we'll clean it up. So just smudge your line, and it's completely up to you whether you want a big line or a smaller line. I'm doing kind of in between. going to use that brown now. It has a little bit of shimmer into it, but I'm going to take just a tiny bit and use it on my lower lash line. I'll move to a crease brush, and the color that I'm going to use in my crease, it's actually the lightest of the brown. Don't know why it looks gray. I think there's something wrong with colors on my camera, but it's actually the lightest brown, and if you have that palette, you know it's the lightest brown. So I'm going to take a little bit of that light brown color, it's matte, and put it in my crease, so just here. And then the other one. So I don't press hard, just a little bit. It's a pigmented eyeshadow. This is another crease brush, but it's a little bit more fluffy. So the same light brown color. I'll blend it. Rather blended. I am going to use the pearly color in here. I'm going to put it on my finger like this. Get rid of the glitter that's on top of it, and just use it in the corner of my eyes. Just tap it on, dab it on, dab it on. Why I didn't use a primer is because I'm going to use shimmer waterproof color for shadow liner, which is basically a liner but an eyeshadow as well. What I'm doing is, as you can see, I use it a lot. Just take it, put it on your finger, use it really quick because it's waterproof, it dries, and dab it onto your eyelid. And because it's waterproof, it's going to stay on all day. That's why. Hence you don't need an eye primer. Now, just to make sure that your line is more visible, I'm going to use the Sephora Dramatic Line Eyeliner 24-hour liner, and it's the one with that funny little cut tip. I can barely see anything. Eyes are almost done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a concealer. It's the High Coverage Concealer Natural Finish from Sephora, and the color is 26 Peach. So I don't actually like to use too much of that under my eyes because it is high coverage, means it's drying your skin, and I don't want to dry that skin. You don't want to dry your under eye skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it around my nose because that's where I have a lot to hide. And I'm going to mix it with Sephora Smoothing and Brightening Concealer. So it's the yellow one. It's number 04 Light. And you have to twist it to get into it. My hands are greasy. Ah, there you go. So you see it's very yellow. This is the one that I will use underneath my eyes. underneath my eyebrows. Do I look like a kitty now? You could use your brush that you've applied your foundation with, but I find it that with the concealer is a little bit thicker, especially that one. I use my hands because it's heating up the concealer and it blends better. So I'm starting with the light color, obviously. Now I blend it all together. A little bit more, whatever's left on my crease brush. I'm just going to enhance that line because I might have covered with the concealer a little bit. Just blend it, blend it. There you go. And the next thing that I'm going to use is Sephora bronzing powder in number 1. So it looks a little bit like this. And it might look a little bit light here, but I'm actually a very pale person. So I'm just using a kind of brush. What is it? It's probably just a blush brush. Put it underneath your cheekbones. And since I have high forehead, cover it up with a blush. Next thing I'm going to use is the mineral powder from Sephora, and it's color 30 medium. So I'm just going to use a brush, whatever brush you have, or you can actually use the foundation brush. If you're using stapling brush, you can use the same one, but then you're going to put a lot more on, so I'm just going to use a regular brush. And I don't really need to put a lot because it is not a moisturizing foundation, so you don't need a lot of powder, but I'm going to use a little bit where your skin gets to, you know, get greasy the most. Dab it on. Always dab it on. You probably noticed I didn't put a mascara on. That's because when you dab on your powder, a little bit of it might fall onto your mascara and that might look funny. That's why I didn't. So now I'm going to use mascara, what's it called? Lash Plumper Ultra Black Mascara from Sephora, obviously, since it's a Sephora, all Sephora video. So I'll start on the bottom. I really don't understand why people start on the top and then they look up and the mascara ends up here. So I'm just going to start on the bottom and move to the top. My favorite lip liner, it's number 16 Nude Beige from Sephora. My favorite, you can tell because it's nearly all gone. I'm kind of guessing because my mirror is so far. It's the liner. And this is another thing that's always in my bag. It's number 12 Bubblegum Sephora Lip Gloss, shimmery. So here is my very affordable and very everyday and very natural and all Sephora makeup. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you soon.